Shoot.
All right, I'm on with Crofty, and I got some questions for him about Heroes for Hire. Crofty likes this team, and he has built it. Crofty is a content creator on Twitch. Crofty, when are you streaming? Do you have like a regular schedule, or are you just whenever?
I did have, and
You-
then work become a problem.
oh, okay.
So it's whenever I can get on. Usually it's usually Fridays at
All right,
6 p.m. my time.
So give him a follow. He's across the pond, and so he's weird hours for me. Like right now, it's like evening for him, and it's morning for me. So give him a follow. Turn your notifications on so you can find him. He has some good streams. He knows his stuff, and he's building a very lean and effective roster. You are building Heroes for Hire, right?
I am indeed.
And what is your goal for that team? Like, what kind of power level do you want to get them to reach?
The main two for me is G15 on Colleen and on Shang-Chi. Or Chong-Chi, whatever you want to call him.
Shang-Chi,
The rest of them...
shredded cheese, Shang Tsung, who cares?
Yeah, whatever. It's just, it's because I'm doing gamma raids at 4.3 and I'm using them in Doom 1.1 as well. It just seems like a good investment for me.
Right, and you think for new players, it's probably a good way to go rather than going after those symbiotes, right?
To a point, yeah. For the simple reason, don't forget the G13s are different from all as well.
Right.
So
right, you're not stuck behind those alien spores.
Yeah, you're not stuck behind the alien spores. They're not all bio. You've got one's extremis, one's you've only got two of them on the same, which is Colleen Wing and Iron Fist, I think.
Yeah, we've got molecular cloth for Chi, and
Misty Knights is extremis.
Misty Knights extremis, and
Cage
we've got
is Carbonodium. And then the other two are...
oh, the focus Chi, yeah.
Yeah. So, for me, it's a good build. It's a good team. You can use them in... I'm using Shang-Chi in Doom Raids 1.1 at the moment, and he's doing totally fine. He's near enough warping everybody with his ult, and he's only G14.
Okay, now, he was doing negative 100% damage to his team, which was giving them basically a 500,000 heal. It was ridiculous. They changed that yesterday at server reset to a heal Heroes for Hire only for 50% of max health on his special. How do you feel about that change? Have you noticed it since yesterday to today?
I've used them today, and the heal is... I don't think it's as good, but it's still an effective heal. But yeah. The thing is, when you're using his ult, and you're using him in the right thing, you've got his cooldown set up, that ult, what he uses, it near enough clears the board anyway. And this is at 1.1, and mine's only... What's mine? I think mine's 100k?
Mm-hmm.
102k, something like that, 103k. 103k, and it near enough clears the board. So,
yeah.
The heal is good, don't get me wrong, it's really good. But
do you think it's good enough to consider him as a healer ISO, or are you going to keep him as Raider?
I think I'm going to keep him as a Raider, just because he does bounce around quite a bit on, is it 2 of his attacks? I think his ult hits everybody and his special hits adjacents.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, healer only does, he has actually got a healer in his thing, hasn't he? So,
yes,
you could use it if you're struggling.
Yeah.
And you're not being able to keep people alive. You can switch it to a healer, but mine's currently at Blue ISO 1, and mine's a Raider.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 3 T4s in them as well. I've got special, ult, and passive done.
I kind of feel like this heal Heroes for Hire is going to be a good heal for raids, but inside war, the heal isn't really a factor. Because, because they're dropping below 50% and just coming back up to 100%, or they're dying and reviving with full health.
Yeah, I don't think it's good. It's not going to be good for... I think that is mainly raids. It's going to be really good for raids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've fought countless ones in war, and it doesn't seem to take effect, because I usually target Shang-Chi first to try and get him down and out of the way, because he's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Do you find that the taunt, that reciprocal taunt of Luke Cage's, is that drawing you away the way like Strife does with the Marauders, or are you able to work around that taunt?
I can get round it. Usually I'll get Shang-Chi down before Cage taunts, but that's because Shang-Chi currently for most people is not massive damage. He's not massive power, sorry. So he's able to drop down. Is it 3 times? He's 3 times, and I can kill him off. Yeah. But I can see that people will get stuck behind Luke Cage. So I think a lot of people are targeting Luke Cage first anyway, just to get rid of that taunt.
Yeah. Okay. But, my next question is, how do you feel about this Weapon X team? Do you think that they're going to be a Heroes for Hire counter?
I think they're going to be a counter. I don't know if they're going to be a hard counter or a soft counter.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to be a counter. I think they're going to add a second counter. I think they're going to market them as a full counter because it's what they do best for me.
Right. Well, they marketed Shadowlands as an answer to Black Order, so they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Look at how many things they marketed Buchanan's at one point as a premier raid team.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not going to sell it unless they actually say it's this, and this, and this stating that it's this, and this.
Right, we all know not to listen to what Scopely has to say about these teams, but when their kits come out and we get a chance to look them over, we usually know by their kit. Like when we saw Shadowlands kit and they were saying, this is the counter for Black Order, we said, no, this is the counter for Marauders. Like it was obvious. Yep. You know, so when the kits come out, I think we'll have a little bit of definitive answer. The word on the street is that Omega Red, and we technically don't have confirmation that that's Omega Red, but it's Omega Red.
It's Omega Red.
Yeah, word on the street is that he is going to introduce a new mechanic called Trauma, which works the opposite of Safeguard, meaning that you cannot cleanse negative effects from an enemy. The enemy can't cleanse negative effects from themselves, essentially. So I see that happening to this Heroes for Hire team, and I'm not sure how the revive mechanic is going to play, because like if you're putting bleeds on them and then just killing them, the bleeds aren't really taking effect, but the bleeds will stay on them so they can't get cleansed, which could be cool. And then I don't know. I don't know what else is in the kit. Like going on the comic book lore of these characters, I see lots of opportunities to do things that would directly affect Heroes for Hire and be in line with what these characters are supposed to do from their comic books. So I'm kind of excited about it, but I don't know. I guess time will tell, right?
Adding on the trauma thing.
Yeah.
What if they had trauma up and they had heal block? Would they still heal if they went below half health, or would they just lose a charge?
Good question. This will require some testing.
Then will that break the team? Because would you have to kill him then to lose another charge? Or interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, we're out in speculation land. I like to tell people that MSF content creators, they see their own shadow and they start predicting the winning lottery numbers for next month's Powerball. Yeah. So we're way out in speculation land here. But hey, that's what we've got to do these days. It's either bitch about the mistakes or speculate on upcoming kits.
Well, everyone's seen that trauma, didn't they? And I think 90% of the community, when they first saw the trauma, was like, "Oh my God, Null's coming!" And now it's, oh no, it must be for Omega Red.
Yeah, and you know, if you look at Omega Red, because for those of you who don't know, Omega Red is a mutant who uses death spores and has a healing factor slightly lesser than Wolverine's. He was then kidnapped by the KGB and worked on by the Russian version of the Super Soldier program, and then enhanced by the Weapon X program. Different comic book lines have that playing out in different ways. But basically, the Weapon X program primarily put carbonadium in him instead of adamantium, which is a lesser form of metal, kind of like adamantium. So, by the way, be maybe collecting that gear. And then they gave him tentacles. So he wraps people up, brings them in close, and then kills them with his death spores, and he's really hard to kill. And that to me, the death spore thing kind of screams, oh, he's going to make it trauma. Like that sounds like that would fit in with his kit. So that's why a lot of people are thinking that trauma is coming from Omega Red. I'm hoping that, like Adam Warlock with Safeguard, that Omega Red is a legendary character bringing trauma. I hope so, because I'm a big Omega Red fan. I don't know. Do you hope he's a legendary, or do you even think he will be?
I do and I don't. I know you love Omega Red, but for me, I've read a lot of the Null comics recently, and I was kind of hoping that he was going to be the next legendary character. Just because in the bio nodes you do need a lot more help than, but I'd take either. I'd take either. If it was Null or if it was Omega Red, I'd be happy, really happy.
Yeah, I think they're. Don't get me wrong. I think Null's a fantastic character. Would love to see him. I just don't see Scopely doing that because that benefits the player base and doesn't benefit their bottom line. Why sell us one character when they could sell us an entirely new team? Like,
well, they'll sell 3, won't they?
Right, yeah, they'll sell us 3 Eternals or something, and then we'll have to figure out the other 3, and then later they'll pop some more in. I do, however, I like that they're selling us 3 characters at a time, and it helps break up the cookie cutter teams.
Yeah, that's true. You add in 2 more characters, what most people at our levels got built to a certain degree.
Right. Like Secret Avengers is a great raid team, very useful, high power, they're top tier stuff. There's 3 of them, and it's your choice on who you put in there for whatever game mode you're using them for. Same thing with Cloak and Dagger and now Deathpool is we get these 3, and then you figure out who the Mr. characters are going to be, which, come on, it's going to be like Doom and Surfer or... Yeah, Doom and Surfer probably. And there's a case to be made for all of those. Hell, people are still saying Thanos should be in on that team, but you're telling me Thanos isn't landing his offense down in 1.1, right?
It varies. I mean, mine's 150k or something. Mm-hmm. He's not small. He's not as big as yours, but he does struggle. Yeah. Even Ebony Maw as well. He doesn't land. You know, he's special because he gives. Sometimes that doesn't land as well. It can be.
I made Ebony Maw a level 5 skirmisher, so he's working better. I really like Ebony Maw as a skirmisher. I see some people still making him a healer, and they don't understand that he doesn't have any healing in his kit. So, okay, so I think, I think the thing to know is that there's 2 ways to go with Heroes for Hire. I think if your alliance is serious about war, you got to go big with the team, and you get, relatively speaking, you get value out of them. They scale very well with that investment, and they are the premier war defense team. We don't know if Weapon X is going to be a soft counter, a hard counter, or who knows? Maybe they're going to be an arena team. We don't know. It does look, by looking at the comic book lore and stuff, there are lots of run-ins with Shang-Chi and like Lady Deathstrike, the Weapon X program actually, and the Heroes for Hire. Like, there's a lot of crossover there in some of the more recent stuff. So it could be. Also, it goes along with the timeline that this new team is the thing that Scopely's selling us to fix the problem they sold us earlier. So if your alliance is into war, build Heroes for Hire big. If your alliance doesn't care about war, I'm suggesting to people, and I don't know if you agree, but I'm suggesting that they should go 6664 on abilities, gear tier 12 across the board. That brings the team to about 400k, and it still requires basically an Infinity Watch or a really big hybrid team to come into it, and that's good enough for me. What do you think about that? If you're not into war, where would you invest in?
I think at our level, even if you're not invested in war, they don't give good rewards. It just doesn't give good rewards, war. It doesn't give what you need it to give. So I'd say, 6664, level 65 is perfectly fine for war. If you want to use them elsewhere, then the main 2 for me are Shang-Chi and Colleen Wing.
Yeah, because at that investment... you're not using anything that you really need other than the training mats and the gold. Mm-hmm. And I think that you're going to get a return on your value with that level of investment. Somebody was asking to see my Jubilee here, so I'm putting it up. And then as for the Weapon X team, we know that it's Lady Deathstrike, Silver Samurai, Wolverine, and Sabretooth. We're 95% certain it's Omega Red. I'm telling people, go ahead, it's Omega Red. We don't know if Omega Red is a legendary. We don't know if there is a legendary. We don't know if it is a legendary, what the legendary unlocks are. Although, if you want to go off on the speculation tree here, then I'm saying it's probably going to be something like Heroes for Hire or Secret Avengers. I mean, it could be Secret Avengers and Moon Knight,
Better not
you
be.
know? Like, it could be Secret Avengers, Moon Knight, and and White Tiger. It could be. So we know that it can be individual characters at this point. It could be another legendary, so it's like a double legendary unlock thing. However, if you want to get ready for the Weapon X team, my suggestion is do not build Sabretooth, do not build Wolverine. Go ahead and farm their gear with any kind of extra stuff that you have available. Like if you get all your tunes farmed, you can see on my screen, I have a bunch of stuff hearted because I'm trying to finish it off. After I get done all the way down here at Kree Noble farming her, I then go ahead and farm some of the mutant gear. And the mutant gear you're going to want to farm is going to be adamantium, carbonadium. You're gonna want, let's see, over here, you're gonna want all of this mutant stuff, whether it be superior spliced X genes, superior cytoplasm, or metabolic enhancers. You're gonna want to make sure you have a bunch of that. That's just good mutant gear to have no matter what. And then I think I can't predict any of the other mini uniques. I'm pretty sure it would be carbonadium and adamantium. I mean, like, Silver Samurai's got an adamantium mech, you know, or body armor, depending on which version they go with him. So, you know, that's what you could be farming and saving. Just don't apply it yet. Don't make a move till we know, because this might be this could be the next Wakanda. We don't know. We just don't know.
Imagine.
All right, man. Well, thanks for joining me for this little segment. I'm going to wrap this up and send it over to YouTube. So, yeah, bye.